Man, good afternoon, people. How y'all doing? I got a grinder update, man. The Taurus CNC grinder that I bought. You know, obviously I didn't have an outlet to fit the turn and lock 240 plug that it came with. I emailed Rich and I was like, "Hey, man, is it okay if I just change out the male portion of that machine?" And he was like, "Oh, dude, I meant to send you the female, the receptacle. I just," he said, "I just happened to it just slipped my mind. I'm sorry." And like, so he sent me the female receptacle. He also sent me 4 pieces of steel, so 5160. Is that right? Yeah, I've never used the steel. I've never owned the steel. What, you know, it's yeah, I think it's 5160. Whatever it was, Scab said it made a really good chopper. Like I know there's a 5672, like, or 5670 as well. So I'm hoping I'm telling you the truth there. I think it's 5160, and I'm not really experienced with either one of those. But I can't wait to check them out. He sent four pieces that are 12 inches long, 2 inches wide, and a 1/4 inch blade stock. So like, make some monsters, and I'm looking forward to it. But man, I walked out into the garage today. I turned the grinder on, and like, not for the first time. I played with it last night. Yesterday, man, thanks to anybody that's watching. Like there's been several people to help me out with the electrical issues, walking me, point me in the right directions on changing out an outlet. It was really easy, but I've just always been scared of doing things like that myself. I'm not sure why. It's just I was kind of raised in a household where you hire professionals. In order to, like, my dad wasn't a plumber, he wasn't an electrician. Needed stuff like that done, you just call them. And I would be that way too. But like, there's not a lot of plumbers, and there's not a lot of electricians in our area. Most of them are old. When I mean old, I'm talking about in their 80s, and they're if you call to book an appointment, you're lucky if they remember. They're really good people, man. Really good people, but that's just how it is. And there's not a lot of young people taking their place. So, it gets to the point where you got to learn a little bit of things, and I'm grateful for that. Speaking of grateful, I turned that grinder on today, and I was struck with an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Like, I don't know why. Man, 4 or 5 months ago, before Scab was to present this competition, I would have never thought that I'd have been in a position in my life to where I'd be buying machines to make knives with. And at that point, man, like, almost everything was clear. Maybe everything was clear. It's like, it's not about doing it for a job. It's not, I've had some questions come up. It's like, what's your price range is going to be? Can you make me this out of that? And there's a lot of stuff I just hadn't thought of, man. Because like, I'm not trying to do it for a job replacement or anything. It'd be kind of cool to what I'm thinking, as far as I've thought about any of this, is I think it'd be kind of cool to be good enough by the time I retire to be able to scrape up some extra income. Like, if I'm a good enough knife maker, 41 right now. I'd like to retire at 50. That's been my goal. I don't know if I'll make it. It's a goal. You aim small, miss small. But if I'm good enough in 9 years to be a knife maker, then I can start working for myself until I don't enjoy doing that anymore, I guess. Whatever. But that's as far as I'd actually just even gotten into it. I was like, I'll buy these machines at some point in the future. Maybe they'll start, maybe they'll have some fruit to bear. Like, I don't expect anything immediate, right? I said it'd probably be 3 years before I make a knife that's worth selling, and that might be the case. It may very well be the case, and I'm not going to stress out about that right now. One thing that really struck me this morning was I was like, I'm grateful enough to have had the opportunity to work with who I'm working with, and I'm grateful enough to have been friends with the dude that come up with the competition. I was grateful enough to be able to catch that video, hear about the competition, talk to him, then Jed asked me, like, are you going to build a knife? I'm grateful enough that everything lined up for me to be able to build a knife in the first place. It's like, man, I'm not sure if I've got a complete set of Allen wrenches at the house, much less anything to make a knife with. So a gratitude bomb just landed on my lap. It's not that I hadn't been grateful. It's just that, like, it was a bomb, like, just blew up and exploded, like, right in, like, inside of me somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's got to sound weird because I don't know how to vocalize how it felt, but, like, it was just a overwhelming sensation of gratitude, and like, I started thinking about, well, what can I do? Like, I think I'm a long ways away, like, in my head anyway, from popping up a website and selling knives. But I do have some things to think about, like, if I'm gonna be making knives, I gotta mark them some kind of way. So it's like probably not a bad idea to come up with some sort of logo to mark them with and a brand name. Regardless if I'm making 3 knives a year or 300. And I'm not gonna shoot for 300, I promise you that. But the thing is like, 2 things really stood out to me. I will never have books. I will never take a custom order, and let somebody pay me up front for something I haven't done yet. The reason it's simple is because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Like, how am I supposed to promise somebody that I can do some work if I don't even know if I'll be here tomorrow? And I don't mean to look at that grimly, but I have one of the most hazardous jobs in the United States of America. And, so it's just the way it is. I'm not scared of the death. I'm not, I'm not frightened of the thought of passing and leaving this world. I accept that there's real possibilities of all that, and I don't look at it grimly. So, like, don't take it grimly. I'm just saying, like, I don't like the idea of books anyway. I never understood how people, like, have been comfortable with the book idea. I'm not down talking to anybody that has. I'm just saying I don't like the idea because I don't live in a bubble. So not positive that I could perform the work that I'm hired to do. Even if I had the capabilities, and I know I had the capabilities, it's not about capabilities, it's about time. I don't want it to feel like a job. So I don't want to, like, take on 12 knives and I never want to be at that point. I'm not at that point yet where I could do that if I wanted to, but I don't want to be at that point. Like, I don't ever want to be at that point. I know that. Like, so I'm thinking long term, with the logo and how, how you want to construct business. And there's one vow that just, like, hit me like a ton of bricks while I was doing that. And, like, I turned that grinder on and I picked up a knife and I said, it was a knife, it was a production knife. And I said, I am not ever going to make a knife for the sake of making a knife. What I mean by that is every knife that I make, I promise, it is to make a knife to become a better knife maker. That's the only goal I have, is to become a better knife maker. It's like, I'm not even a knife maker yet, but I'm gonna make some knives, so inevitably that's what I will become. As a side effect, it's just a side effect. It's not like I was born to be a knife maker. No, I didn't even seek it out. It's gonna be a side effect of making something. If you break up concrete all day, then you're a gravel maker, I guess, or something. I just looked over here. It's concrete. but what, like, it's just going to be a side effect. So, like, that's what I will become at some point. If the greater is willing, like, whatever you want to call it, whatever the greater is to you, but, like, good Lord willing, then it'll be a side effect of doing what you do. So every knife to become better. That's it, man. You know, like, you know, the first thing that hit me about the no books, man. You know, I was like, I don't want to ever take a book. You know, like I'll never make a book. Also, kind of throws a wrench in the whole warranty thing. It's like, you know, you see a lot of people offer a lifetime replacement warranty. It's like, the lifetime of what? Lifetime of you, or lifetime of the knife, lifetime of the business, obviously. But like, and you know, if you're making knives to become a better knife maker, and you're not making knives for the sake of making knives, then how can you even promise that you can be in the same headspace and the same zone to reproduce a knife that's identical to one that someone damaged? So I've got a warranty, like, to think about too. A few things to think about, figure out, and while we're doing that, we'll still be collecting tooling and machining and stuff like that. I did record a video earlier. This one was all over the place, but that one was real bad. So we'll give you this one. That one was in the shop, and I was just all over the place. Like I was in it at that point. You know, like that's when it hit me, and I just took out the phone and I was like, man, I'm gonna start recording. So like, I'm gonna give you this one instead, because it's probably gonna be a little bit more organized. It's not gonna be uber organized. We don't do uber organized, but man, just know that I'm beyond, like it's not even real. Like, you know, the reality of what's going on at home it feels animated. You know, I don't know if you've ever had anything like that happen, where it's like, you know, how'd you find yourself in this situation? It's happened to me a few times in my life, you know, like, and like when reality sets in, it's like, you know, how does this affect me as a person? How does this, how am I going to take this and grow? You know, like, like what direction is this going to grow Billy in? You know, like, if it grows me in one direction, what is it pulling me away from, type thing? You know, it all gets, you know, philosophical. But anyway, the reality started setting in today, you know, and I'm going to treat it just like I did anything else. Like, whether I was in a band and I was playing music and I was completely devoted, you know, practicing 12 hours a day. Of course, I didn't have a career back then. I had a job, but I didn't have a career. Like, it didn't bother me at all if I miss work. If I miss work now, it's yeah, I put a lot of people in a situation. Back then, you're just a man down. The rest of the team pick it up. I miss now. It moves. You know, it can be catastrophic. So, it happens. You have to miss sometimes, but I'm not just calling in just to be calling in so I can practice on, you know, bevels or you know, checking out my new amplifier. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching. I know this video was still unorganized, and I just wanted to give you an update, man. The grinder's going, you know, and that feels good, man. The grinder is going, and it's like everything is looking very promising, and I am excited, and like, I'm still not looking at it as a business thing, you know, like, so I make something, you know, like, if you like don't feel a certain kind of way about it, but like, man, you know, like, just know I'm having fun, you know, like, it does, you know, like, what I mean by that is, like, don't feel any pressure to buy anything to support me or anything like that. Like, it's not like, if I put something up for sale, it's just to get it out of my way. Maybe, you know, maybe somebody will want it, you know, like, don't ever feel like, so I don't want people to feel like that. Like, when Billy's starting to make knives, I'm gonna have to buy one just to be able to support him. Like, no, you don't have to do that. Thanks for watching this video to the end. That's all I need you to do. You guys have a great one, and we will catch you on the flip side.